The National Popular Vote Bill would guarantee the presidency to the candidate who receives the most popular votes in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. It is a fact that slightly more than half the nation's population lives in the 12 biggest states. One defender of the current state-by-state, winner-take-all method of awarding electoral votes has claimed that under national popular vote, as few as 11 or 12 states would control the outcome of presidential elections. However, the voters of these states would control the outcome of a presidential election only if you make the politically unrealistic assumption that one candidate would get 100% of the popular vote in all of these states. The political reality is that no candidate received more than 63% of the vote in any of the 12 biggest states in any of the 7 presidential elections between 1988 and 2012. Moreover, 5 of the 12 biggest states are very closely divided battleground states, and President George W. Bush won 6 of the 12 biggest states in both 2000 and 2004. The answer to the question about whether the 12 biggest states are in any way special or controlling in presidential election becomes clear by looking at the relatively close recent campaigns of 2004 and 2012 and comparing the role of the half of the nation's population living in the 12 biggest states to the role of the half of the nation's population living in the 38 smaller states in the District of Columbia. President George W. Bush won by holding his opponent to a near tie in the popular vote in the 12 biggest states in 2004, while carrying the 39 smallest states by about 3.2 million votes, thereby ending up with a nationwide winning margin of 3 million votes, essentially his margin in the 39 smallest states. The relatively close 2012 election was almost a mirror image of 2004. President Barack Obama won by holding his opponent to a near tie in the popular vote in the 39 smallest states, while carrying the 12 biggest states by 6 million votes, thereby ending up with a nationwide winning margin of about 5 million votes, essentially his margin in the 12 biggest states. The fact is that there is nothing special, much less controlling, about the voting power of the 12 biggest states, any more than there's anything special or controlling about the voting power of the 39 smallest states. National popular vote makes every voter in every state equally relevant in every presidential election. Returning to the opposition's original concern that the 12 biggest states would control presidential election, anyone concerned about that possibility should be far more concerned about the current state-by-state winner-take-all system. Today, a candidate getting a mere plurality, never mind 100%, of the popular vote in the 12 biggest states would get all of these states' electoral votes, and hence enough electoral votes to win the presidency under the current system. In other words, a candidate could win the presidency today with about a quarter of the national popular vote, merely by getting 51% of the popular vote in the 12 biggest states. The opposition's claim about big states overlooks the political reality that the United States is an evenly divided country politically, that has cast, over time, almost exactly as many votes for Democrats as Republicans. In a similar vein is the fact that half of the nation's population lives in the nation's 146 biggest counties. One defender of the current state-by-state winner-take-all method of awarding electoral votes has raised the concern that the 146 biggest counties would control presidential elections under national popular vote. This concern, like the one based on the 12 biggest states, is based on the politically unrealistic assumption that a candidate would get 100% of the popular vote in all 146 of the biggest counties, and therefore not need any votes from any of the country's remaining counties. In fact, the total vote in these heavily populated counties is only 59% Democratic. Anyone sharing Stephen Fleming's concern should be even more concerned about the current state-by-state winner-take-all system, because a candidate getting 100% of the popular vote in the 60 counties on this map would carry the statewide popular vote in all the states containing those counties, and thereby win all of the electoral votes from those states, and thereby win the presidency, because the states containing the 60 counties have a majority of the electoral votes. The fact is there's nothing special, much less controlling, about the voting power of the 146 biggest counties, any more than there's anything special or controlling about the voting power of the remaining counties. National popular vote makes every voter in every state equally relevant in every presidential election. Learn more at nationalpopularvote.com and from the book, Every Vote Equal, a state-based plan for electing the president by national popular vote, which can be read or downloaded for free or purchased from Amazon. You can help make 2016 the last presidential election in which 3/4 of Americans are ignored in presidential elections by emailing your state legislators at nationalpopularvote.com.